Hi, it's T. Carlson here. We're finally starting to get more Quentin Tarantino movies in 4K, and that's certainly a good thing. There was a 4K release a few years back of Inglourious Basterds, but now Arrow Video's thrown their hat onto the table, and they have put out their own deluxe release of Inglourious Basterds, Quentin Tarantino's classic 2009 film revolving around his version of World War II. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. There's our cover art featuring one of the title characters, presumably Brad Pitt's character based on the silhouette. Spine text, other side of the spine. Back cover with all of our pertinent info for the release. Now this I really like. The inner cardboard case actually has the Operation Kino dossier artwork on there. Arrow always does a great job when it comes to little stuff like that. Tops and the bottoms are just blank. And we get a few things in this package. First of all, we actually get a coaster for the tavern scene in the film. On this side, you have the German way of doing the number 3 with your fingers. And on this way, you have the American way of doing it. I actually just noticed that now, which calls to a certain scene in the film I won't get into here. There is a poster. On this side, we have Arrow's art. And on this side, we have the more standard art. We do get a pretty thick booklet, which Arrow likes to do. And here they have like a Films and Filmmakers mock cover that has our theater running hero in there. And there are some nice pictures from the film and essays. Arrow always does a great job with these booklets. And then the back has some information about the transfer and the production of this disc. Now we come to the actual case with the discs in it. Here's the cover. This is reversible. I already reversed it. Otherwise, it's just the same as the outer slipcover. In the case, we get an ad for Arrow Video's streaming service, and then an ad for their release of The Cell. We do get some art cards as well, and these all have a different character on the back. That one's got Aldo Rain, the Brad Pitt character. This one's got Hans Landa, the Christoph Waltz character. And then here we have our theater-owning heroine who plays an integral role in the film. And one thing I really like they included in here, the Daniel Brühl character, who's a German war hero. They have this sort of mock ad for one of his films. And then they got some ads for some stuff seen in the film. I love little things like this when they throw that in. We get one more little bonus item. We get the strudel recipe as seen in the film during one of the integral restaurants scene. One of my favorite things here, of course, Hans Landa insists on the strudels being served with cream. So this is right here, whipping cream for serving, not optional. Again, I love stuff like that. Inside the case, we have disc 1, which contains the film, that being a 4K disc, and then disc 2 is a Blu-ray disc that includes bonus features, both old and new alike. There is not a Blu-ray copy of the film included, although Arrow did release the film on Blu-ray as well. Once upon a time, in Nazi-occupied France, one of the most celebrated filmmakers of our time harnesses the power of cinema itself to rewrite history in this electrifying World War II thriller. Nearly escaping the massacre of her entire family by the SS, Shoshana Dreyfus flees to Paris and forges a new identity as the owner and operator of a cinema. Meanwhile, a guerrilla band of Jewish-American soldiers known as the Bastards, led by Lieutenant Aldo Rain, are waging a bloody war of attrition behind enemy lines, but Europe remains beneath Nazi boot hills. Believing themselves unstoppable, the leaders of the Third Reich assemble in Paris for the premiere of the propaganda epic Nation's Pride. The location? Shoshana's cinema. With all the rotten eggs in one basket, the Bastards join forces with British Commando Lieutenant Archie Hickox and German film star undercover Allied agent Bridget von Hammersmark to infiltrate the premiere. Their plan? Blow up the basket. Brim-filled with shocking violence, thrilling action, and excruciating suspense, Inglourious Basterds was a box office smash around the world, garnering 8 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay, with Christoph Waltz winning Best Supporting Actor for his star-making turn as the chilling SS Colonel Hans Landa. Witness the war as it might have been in stunning 4K Ultra High Def, packed with explosive extras. I'll be the first to admit the cinema of Quentin Tarantino is not for everybody. This guy always goes overboard with gratuitous amounts of sex and violence, and he certainly likes rewriting history to his own vision. Personally, those are the very reasons I love the guy. So when I heard that he was making a World War II epic, needless to say, I was certainly enthused. I did see Inglourious Basterds on home video not long after it came out, back around 2009, 2010, and I remember being a bit underwhelmed the first time I saw the film, but with some repeat viewings, it's certainly grown on me. This is a masterfully shot, well-plotted, well-executed masterpiece of sorts, taking viewers back in time to the 1940s when the world was at war. But of course, Tarantino throws in his own twist, and that just makes me love the movie even more. He certainly makes this movie look like the 1940s when the Nazis were in power and holds absolutely nothing back. I mean, there's gratuitous violence against the Jewish people, but there's also people like the title characters who, of course, are waging their own private war against the Nazis. And you really get to see the war atrocities and how people like this basically reigned terror over Europe for many years. I mean, the opening scene introduces us to SS Colonel Hans Landa, played by Christoph Waltz, in the role that pretty much introduced him to American audiences. And what a debut performance it was. I mean, you would think, a Nazi character would just be this, uneducated, violent slimeball who just brutally massacres the Jews. But this guy right here, I mean, right from the get-go, even though his actions are detestable, he's just so damn charismatic. And you can't help but like this guy despite being the villain. I mean, throughout the movie, every time he shows up, he just steals the show, chewing up the scenery. No matter who he interacts with, no matter how he interacts with them, this is largely his movie despite the title. And of course, you have the title characters, a group of Jewish American Nazi hunters led by Lieutenant Aldo Raine, who's portrayed here by Brad Pitt. And you even get Eli Roth, the filmmaker known for a lot of his torture porn horror epics, playing one of the bastards. And Samuel L. Jackson, of course, appears in the film as a narrator. It's a voice-only role, but of course, you got to have his voice in a Tarantino film, no questions asked. And the supporting cast is no less excellent, including Daniel Bruhl portraying a soldier whose exploits are being celebrated in the propaganda film that's going to be shown at the French cinema in the movie. Bruhl, of course, would go on to plenty of bigger roles stateside as well, including portraying the character of Baron Zemo in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's just so many great performances, suspenseful sequences. Probably the only minor complaints I have with this movie, there are some scenes that do drag on longer than they need to, and there are moments where you do wonder if maybe there's a little too much going on and maybe a few too many characters. But there are some fun cameos peppered throughout the film as well, including the likes of Rod Taylor as Winston Churchill and Mike Myers playing a British general. I guess Austin Powers got promoted. So it is truly an epic among epics, certainly Tarantino's most grand and ambitious film. Not my favorite film he's ever made by any means, but definitely his most ambitious and an all-around great movie. I have fun every time I watch this one, no matter how violent, sensual, and outright disturbing it may be. Of course, Tarantino does somewhat rewrite history near the end of the film, but I've got no complaints there because I had a great time with this one, and I do every time I watch it. As far as the transfer goes, there has been a bit of an uproar here because apparently it's the same master that Universal used for their release, which is technically an upscale. I don't own that earlier release, so I can't do a direct comparison, but I do have to say that I'm not disappointed with what I see here. It is a good-looking transfer, certainly an upgrade from older Blu-ray releases of the movie. The colors pop right off the screen, whether it's bright green French fields of grass and farms, or neon red Nazi emblems with swastikas. Whatever it is, everything in this movie does look very good. Again, I don't have the older Blu-ray to compare, but if you think about upgrading solely for the purpose of picture quality from the earlier 4K, I would probably say don't, because it is sourced from the same release. Apparently this is a bigger capacity disc and the encoding is different, but whether that's worth an upgrade is entirely up to you. If you don't own the film on 4K yet, though, this is the release to buy. As far as bonus features go, we do get some new interviews that Arrow commissioned specifically for this release, but of course we get a lot of the archival bonus material as well. I don't know if anything's missing from older releases there, but this is a pretty stacked package with an entire Blu-ray disc devoted to bonus features. It's a fantastic, ultra-violent World War II revenge epic of sorts. Picture quality is beautiful, and Arrow Video's given us a ton of extra bonus features both on and off the disc in this package, so I can give this one my absolute highest recommendation. Again, as with all of Tarantino's films, it's not going to be for everyone, especially not the squeamish and the easily offended. How about you? Are you a Tarantino fan? Where would you rank Inglourious Basterds in his filmography? What did you think of this 4K release from Arrow Video? Comment down below, and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.